What is up, guys? My name is Jack Gardiner. I hope you enjoyed that little track at the beginning there. Massive shout out to Owane for helping me with some of the production on that one. You're a legend, dude. But today we are taking a look at the brand new Neural DSP plugin. This is the Archetype Tim Henson. Tim Henson is the guitarist from Polyphia. If you don't know who he is, then you've definitely been living under a rock. But this sound is possibly my favorite Neural DSP tones, especially for lead tones, between this and the Fort and Cali suite. I think the reason why is because they are kind of based on British or Marshall type amps, which just respond in a very certain way, especially if you're using single coils to your dynamics in your right hand, you know, in the picking hand. For lead tones, this is absolutely killer. I mean, before I walk you through the plugin itself, maybe I can just play this default preset for you. So this is what you will get when you first open the plugin. This is a lead tone that I would 100% use. So guys, Neural DSP, you've smashed it with this one. Let's check out a bit of this then. I mean, that is definitely one of my favorite sounds anyway. First thing to point out though is again how it responds to that right hand. So you can get really kind of, how do I say, creative with your dynamics. So if I pick hard or if I pick soft, almost like a clean tone, you know. So yeah, absolutely perfect for the kind of style of stuff that I want to do anyway. So walking through the plugin itself then, if you're familiar with Neural DSP products, you'll totally recognize this layout. So I mean, over on the far left we have the pedals. Now in this one we have a boost, a compressor and an overdrive, and they all sound really cool to my ears. I know that Tim likes to, if say he's got like a clean tone on an amp, or even if he's kind of dirty on the amp settings, I get the feeling that they would put a boost in front of that, or maybe an overdrive pedal to give even more, you know, of a push really. The clean tones in that kind of style are never like 100% clean. It's not like, you know, that kind of Fender sound. It's more gainy, if you like, before the amp even. So like I say, there's a boost, compressor and an overdrive in there. If we move to the amp section then, the tone you just heard was this amp. This is probably my favorite one in terms of lead tones. Sounds British to my ears. Could be wrong, forgive me if I am, but yeah, it feels very much like a Marshall and reacts that way. Over on the far left though, we have this, which is new for Neural DSP. This is an acoustic simulator, and you can really control how much of an acoustic that sounds like by using this blend control over here. We'll dig into that more a little bit later. Graphics though for this one are spot on as well. I really do like that. The middle amp then, this again feels British to me. Maybe it's like a Marshall or maybe it's like a Vox or something like that. But it's a lot less gain, and you can obviously boost that with the pedals in front of it to get more of those kind of modern clean sounds, which are on the dirty side anyway. But yeah, it really kind of responds to me like either a Marshall or like an AC30 or something like that. 2 channels, as you can see there, and then straightforward bass, middle, treble, presence. Again, graphics are sick. I really like that one. And then this is the final amp. So that was the one which you heard right at the beginning there, mainly as I was improvising just a second ago. This one is killer, and again, that graphic is spot on. Now, in this section then, we have the typical cab setup. If you're familiar with these plugins, then you know what the deal is here. You have a selection of microphones like 57, Ribbon 121, 160, and you can run them in kind of like a dual mode. You can physically drag around the mics if you want, or you can control them more in depth over here. Now, this next section is probably what most people are going to be excited about. So this is a harmonizer. Now, right at the beginning of that track, you heard me play a line where I was only playing single notes, and it was actually playing, you know, this huge sounding chord. That was this thing here. Now, I won't run into it in too much detail because there's a lot. I'm sure there will be a ton of videos describing this, but essentially we have 4 different voices that we can place here, and up in the top you could pick, say for example, your key. You could pick a mode, so they have major, minor, chromatic there. One thing which I'd love would be if you could control that maybe a little more in depth, if we could get some kind of like scales in there. But I mean, you could control that with the parameters down here if you wanted to, I guess. Or you could use MIDI mode, which the way which that would work would be, say you programmed in some chords on a MIDI track, you could send this through that track and it will harmonize based on what chords are playing there, and you could have, like I say, up to 4 voices. Before I forget, this is just the kind of voicing library, so they've kindly put in these already. So you have things like, you know, 7th chords, you have tone clusters. These are quite interesting, but essentially it would be your standard kind of triads chords, all of these things, you know, if you wanted like a 3rd and a 5th and a 7th, etc. And then there are some kind of drop voicings in there where you could get like a 9th on top and things like that. Really, really cool and super detailed. I believe in this section here, you can even control like where the pan is of it. So you could make these super wide harmonies if you'd like. You can also control like the detune and the delay as well. Really kind of intuitive, and I believe this is the first time that Neural have done something like this. So yeah, I would defo check that out. If you wanted one thing of this plugin, you know, on the free trial of 14 days, and you're thinking, I'm not really into that British sound, I would say it's definitely worth checking it out just for that harmonizer there. In the next tab, we have the graphic EQ section. That's standard in all the Neural DSP plugins. And then finally, in this last section, we have a chorus, which is awesome, super simple. It's either dry or wet, on or off. The delay, which is possibly my favorite delay out of all of the Neural stuff. Usually I use like the Archetype of Bassi for my delays. This one sounds super cool as well. We have a ping pong setting, a wide setting, you know, if you want like a bigger stereo delay, and the normal setting, and then over here the type of delay. So you have like a very modern sound. We have like the vintage digital. I wonder if that's got a bit of like a mod on it. And then you have diffusion, which again sounds super cool. Over on the right then is a reverb pedal, which does have the shimmer option. I think they introduced that over in the Corey Wong plugin, but yeah, I mean, it sounds great. It does the job, especially for those kind of big ambient chord sounds. It's exactly what you want, all the way to kind of, you know, short reverbs for the funk stuff, which I'm sure we'll get into in a second. Without further ado, enough of me chatting about the plugin. Let's hear some of my presets. So right at the beginning there, you heard like the default sound, which I think is epic. But let's go over to here and let's take a look at one of my presets. So this one is using the Harmoniser. Like I said at the beginning, I was using that at the track right at the beginning of this video, and you basically get this kind of sound. So just really, really cool. I mean, I'm just playing single lines there. Now, obviously, we're stuck in the key of A minor there, but if I was to program chords, then I could set this to follow what's going on there. But even just for writing some kind of ideas, I think this is super cool. So I think in terms of harmonies, I have maybe just like a 9th at the top there. I actually can't remember, and it's not showing me right now in the preset. That should be fixed by the time this releases. But yeah, essentially it's this kind of, I think it's a drop voicing with a 9th at the top. Moving on though, let's check out another sound then. So this one, I've called it Big Fusion Chords. You get the idea. So let me play a bit for you so you can hear that. Super nice. Now that is using, I think, the diffusion setting, yes, on the delay. And then we've got quite a big reverb. So it's kind of like an ambient tone, but yeah, I really like it. Also, we do have a little bit of chorus there. It just helps fatten up the chord. So yeah, check out that preset if you download the trial. Let's check another one of mine. So maybe we can go for 4th position funk. So to prove that it's not really just all about the lead tones, this is kind of a sound that I would use in a more faux funk, or, you know, like some of the modern stuff. I am using the lighter gain amp here. Let's just check about pedals. And I have a compressor on it at the front. And this sounds something like this. I'm just going to play a little bit so you can hear it. Now that, like, straight away feels comfortable for me. I mean, it's not kind of like the Fender clean sound, but it does a good enough job of getting across that kind of funk, you know, right hand stuff there. Really, really nice. Even more of the, like, classic sounds. Really, really nice. And for single line stuff, you know, the... works really well. So moving on then, let's check out another preset here. So let's check out this one. This one is called Blusion. I've called that. Now this is essentially my take on the kind of modern blues guys, like, you know, Eric Gales, Josh Smith. I can't play anything like them, but this is the kind of tone I think that I'd go for if it was trying to emulate that sound, you know. So it kind of cleans up really nicely depending on how hard you pick, and obviously if you roll down that volume there. In terms of amps, I am actually using the first amp there, so that is the lower gain one on channel 2, and I think I'm boosting in front of it. Oh no, it's just a compressor there with a little bit of reverb and a little bit of delay. So yeah, one more time, let's hear a little bit of that. Really cool there. So, doesn't just do the kind of modern sounds, it can get into blues territory. I know a lot of the people who might be checking this out maybe aren't into that style. Maybe pentatonic's odd cool. But yeah, I mean, it works. It definitely does that if you want it to. Now, another preset here then. Let's try this one. So, Ambient Chords. Really lush, big reverbs and delays there. I think I have the shimmer engaged, and then we have the diffusion style delay, and it's set to wide, so we've got a bigger stereo sound. Again, that is the lighter gain amp, and there is a compressor on there as well. Just note that it's channel 2, but you should be able to check out these presets. I believe they will be in the plugin by the time this is released. Let's move on then. So let's check out this one. This is the main riff of the demo you heard at the beginning of the video. And this one, again, it's using that lighter gain amp. We've got the compressor. This time we've got an overdrive just for a bit of a boost in front. And then nothing else is there really. Just some reverb, no delay or chorus or anything like that. So yeah. You can hear how it's that kind of style straight away. It just does that kind of job. Really, I guess the idea here is to make sure that those harmonics come through, and also that the triads are kind of all at the same level. And the single lines still pop. So it's kind of like a clean tone, but it's still got all of that dirt there, you know. It really does clean up if I roll down the volume. Really nice sound. Okay, so let's move on then. Which one is this? Okay, so now let's check out the single coil sim. So, sorry, the acoustic sim, I should say. The preset is single coil acoustic sim. Now here I have the blend switch all the way up, and that gives me more of that kind of acoustic sound. There's also a compressor on there and a little bit of reverb. Now, this would be really ideal if, say, you're doing gigs with your laptop. You could just bring this along with you if you don't want to bring an acoustic guitar. You know, if you're an electric style player, I used to do this all the time back in Liverpool. I just preferred to play on an electric guitar. This could do the job if there's someone who's like, no, I really want the acoustic sound. So yeah, let's just check out this. You can hear it there, you know. works just as it should, really. I mean, for me, maybe it's not 100% there yet, that acoustic sim, but I'm sure, you know, it does the job enough. I could definitely use that for a gig, I would say, but maybe it's not my favourite acoustic sound, just being brutally honest there. But anyway, let's check out another preset anyway. So here we have, I've called this Steve's Animal. I guess you can guess what this is supposed to be if you know who I'm on about. Now that could actually work not just for that tune, but as a kind of weird fusion lead sound, I guess, you know. I apologise, I think my guitar, it's new string, so there are a little bit of tuning inconsistencies there. It's not the plugin, I promise you, but yeah, the idea is great. I think, you know, you could have endless amounts of fun with this harmonizer, really. I remember playing this tune, The Animal, back with Stu Ham a couple of years ago when we did the European tour, and that was the one I used to dread because I didn't have any kind of harmonizer pedal. You know, it's one of those things I wish I had this back then. That would have made that tune way easier to play. But yeah, this tone sounds great to me. Let's check out another one then. So this one, I've called it Timmons-ish. I'm sure you can guess who that's supposed to sound like. He's one of my favourite players, and an inspiration that I really didn't think about, you know, a lot. It's one of them. I listened to him a lot when I was younger, and then there was kind of a break, and now I'm starting to go back and think, oh, wow, that's where I got all of that phrasing from. This is using the higher gain amp. There's no compressor or anything like that. Delay and reverb we've got on the go here. So just incredibly dynamic, you know, and that's what I love in an amp sound. That is probably going to be one of my go-to lead sounds. So let's check out another one then here. This one, Unleash the Fury. I'm sure you can guess who this is meant to be. Another one of my early influences. But yeah, Marshall guy, you know, single coils as well. I mean, I definitely cannot do the neoclassical stuff properly, but that's kind of what we're aiming for there. It's great as a kind of higher gain lead sound. Filthy as hell. So just in terms of what's going on there's a boost and an overdrive on in front of the amp. Maybe this is the most gainy you can get with this plugin, I think. And then we have reverb and delay, just like the big man from Sweden. Okay, and then the final one, this is probably going to be, again, similar to the Timmons-ish tone, one of my go-to lead sounds. So this is called Use Your Dynamics, and it's something that I'm a massive fan of, you know, in terms of my phrasing and stuff like that. I always want to be in control of how much gain I have, depending on how much the volume is up, and also by how strong I'm going to pick, you know, so this is perfect for this kind of setup. It is the final amp, again, with an overdrive in front of it, and we have some reverb and delay on the go here. So let's check out this. And there we have it. So they are a few of my presets. They should be already in the plugin, I think, by the time this video goes out. But yeah, guys, what do you think? What did you think of the track right at the beginning? Please let me know your thoughts down below. And I will say it again, having playing through this throughout this video, I think this is possibly my favorite lead sounds from a Neural DSP product. It just is wicked. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video anyway. Which was your favorite preset? Please let me know down below in the comments. You know, like, subscribe, all of that kind of stuff. Click the bell for notifications. There is new music on the way very, very soon. Maybe in a couple of days. I don't know. We'll see. But guys, yeah, check out the Archetype Tim Henson by Neural DSP. It's wicked. Till next time, my name is Jack Gardiner. Cheers.